If you're a new parent, you know that figuring out what to feed your baby can be, well, a lot, right? There's so much conflicting advice out there, it's totally overwhelming. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We've put together a simple, clear guide on the foods you absolutely need to avoid during your baby's first year.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll do a quick overview of the whole forbidden list. Then, we'll dive into the basics, like water and other liquids. From there, we'll tackle what I call the dangerous trio. That's salt, sugar, and honey. Then comes the exciting part, starting solids and watching out for allergies. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you really need to remember.
So what's the big deal, really? I mean, it's just food, right? Well, not exactly. The truth is, a lot of common foods and drinks that are perfectly fine for us can actually be harmful to a baby. Their little systems are still developing, you know? They just can't handle what we take for granted. So we're going to break down exactly what to avoid, and this is the important part, why you need to avoid it. All right, let's start with the most fundamental thing, liquids. And you might actually be a little surprised to learn that even something as pure and simple as water isn't always a good thing for a young baby. Think of breast milk or formula as the perfect all-in-one meal. It has everything your baby needs, all the calories, all the nutrients, and yep, the perfect amount of water too. So when you give them extra water, you're basically watering down their food. Their tiny stomach fills up with a liquid that has zero nutritional value, which leaves less room for the good stuff they actually need to grow. So the rule is really simple. Before your baby starts on solid foods, which is usually around 4 to 6 months, they don't need any extra water at all. Once they start eating solids, a little sip with their meals is totally fine. But herbal drinks, that's an absolute no. And please, ignore any old advice you might hear about giving water for hiccups or colic. It's just not necessary and can honestly do more harm than good. Okay, now let's move on to 3 ingredients that you need to avoid completely for the entire first year. To make them really easy to remember, we're calling them the dangerous trio. That's it, salt, sugar, and honey. These 3 are strictly off limits until your baby's first birthday. No exceptions. Let's break down exactly why each one of these is on the list. First up, salts. A baby's kidneys are brand new. And, well, they're not fully developed yet. They just aren't equipped to handle added sodium. Their little bodies are designed to process the natural amount of salt found in breast milk or formula. Adding extra salt puts a massive strain on their kidneys, which can lead to really serious issues down the line, including high blood pressure. Next up, sugar. This one causes a whole bunch of problems. It can weaken their immune system, increase the risk of obesity, and of course, cause tooth decay. But maybe the biggest issue is something called food aversion. See, once a baby gets a taste for really sweet things, it becomes so much harder to get them to accept healthy, naturally flavored foods. You're pretty much training their palate to crave sugar from the very beginning. And finally, we have honey. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's natural. It has to be okay, right? Wrong. For babies under 1, honey is extremely dangerous. It can contain spores of a bacteria that causes something called infant botulism. An adult's digestive system can handle it just fine, but a baby's can't. It can lead to a very serious illness that causes muscle weakness and even breathing problems. So no matter what you might hear, all scientific sources agree, absolutely no honey before their first birthday. Okay, so you've got the liquids down and you know to steer clear of the dangerous trio. Now for the really exciting part, starting solid foods. This stage brings a whole new set of guidelines, especially when it comes to allergies. The protocol here is really important. When you introduce a new food, just do it one at a time. Then just watch and see what happens. Look for any rashes, an upset tummy, or any other changes. If you notice a possible reaction, stop that food immediately and wait at least 2 weeks before even thinking about trying it again. If an allergy gets confirmed, your doctor will likely tell you to avoid it for up to 6 months. Beyond the dangerous trio, there are a couple of other age-specific restrictions to keep in mind. The general guidance is to hold off on shellfish and mushrooms until your baby is at least 9 months old. And of course, as we've already covered, honey is a strict no-go for the entire first year. We got to keep hammering that one home. So let's bring it all together. Look, the goal here isn't to make you paranoid about every single bite your baby takes. Not at all. It's about empowering you with clear, simple knowledge so you can make the safest choices for their health. Here it is, your final checklist. Just remember, milk provides all the hydration a young baby needs, so no extra water. Steer clear of the dangerous trio, salt, sugar, and honey for the entire first year.
When starting solids, introduce new foods one by one to watch for allergies. And finally, wait until after 9 months for shellfish and mushrooms. You've got this.
Following these guidelines does so much more than just prevent immediate harm. It actually sets the stage for a lifetime of healthy eating. By introducing your baby to natural, unprocessed flavors, you're building a foundation for good health and a positive relationship with food. So the real question isn't just what to avoid, but what kind of healthy future are you building with every single spoonful?